Outliers, the story of success. Malcolm Gladwell. Let's now turn to the history of Bill Gates. His story is almost as well known as the Beatles. Brilliant young Mass Wee discovers computer programming, dropped out of Harvard, started a little computer company called Microsoft with his friends. Through sheer brilliance and ambition and good, build into the giant of the software world. That's the broad outline. Let's dig a little bit deeper. Gates' father was a wealthy lawyer in Seattle, and his mother was the daughter of the well-to-do banker. As a child, Bill was precocious and easily bored by his studies, so his parents took him out of public school and at the beginning of the 7th grade sent him to Lakeside, a private school that catered to settled elite families. Midway through Gates' second year at Lakeside, the school started a computer club. The Mothers Club at school did a rummage sale every year, and there was always the question of what the money would go to. Question members, some went to the summer program where city kids would come up to the campus. Some of it would go for teachers. That year, they put $3,000 into a computer terminal down in this funny little room that we subsequently took control of. It was kind of amazing thing. It was an amazing thing, of course, because this was 1968. Most of college didn't have computer clubs in the 1960s. Even more remarkable was the kind of computer Lakeside bought. The school didn't have its student run programming by the laborious computer card system like virtually everyone else was doing in the 1960s. Instead, Lakeside installed what they called an ASR33 teletype, which was a time-sharing terminal with a direct link to a mainframe computer in downtown Seattle. The whole idea of time-sharing only got invented in 1965, Gates continued. Someone was pretty forward-looking. Bill Joy got an extraordinary early opportunity to learn programming on a timeshare system as a freshman in college in 1971. Bill Gates got to do real-time programming as an 8th grade in 1968. From that moment forward, Gates lived in the computer room. He and a number of others began to teach themselves how to use this strange new device. Buying time on the mainframe computer, the ASR was hooked up to was, of course, expensive, even for a wealthy institution like Lakeside, and it wasn't long before the $3,000 put up by the Mothers Club ran out. The parents raised more money, the students spent it. Then, a group of programmers at the University of Washington formed the outfit called Computer Center Corporation, or C-Cubed, which leased computer time to local companies. As luck would have it, one of the founders of the firm, mijkor, had a son at Lakeside, a year ahead of Gates. With the Lakeside Computer Club, Rona wondered, to test out the company's software program on the weekends in exchange for free program time. Absolutely. After school, Gates took the bus to the C-Cubed office and programmed long into the evening. C-Cubed eventually went bankrupt, so Gates and his friend began hanging around the computer center at the University of Washington. Before long, They latched onto an outfit called ISI, Information Science Incorporation, which agreed to let them have free computer time to exchange for working on a piece of software that could be used to automate company payrolls. In one 7 month period in 1971, Gates and his cohort ran up 1,575 hours of computer time on the ISI mainframe, which averaged out to 8 hours a day, 7 days a week. It was my obsession, Gates said of his early high school years. I skipped athletics. I went up there at night. We were programmed on weekends. It would be a rare week that he wouldn't get 20 or 30 hours in. There was a period where Paul Allen and I got in trouble for stealing a bunch of passwords and crashing the system. We got kicked out. I didn't get to use the computer the whole summer. This is when I was 15 and 16. When I found out Paul had found a computer that was free at the University of Washington. They had these machines in the medical center and the physics department. They were on a 24 hours schedule, but in this big slack period, so that between 3 and 6 in the morning, they never scheduled anything. Get laughed. I'd leave at night after my bedtime. I could walk up to the University of Washington from my house, or I'd take the bus. That's why I'm always so generous to the University of Washington, because they let me steal so much computer time. Years later, Gator's mother said, we always wondered why it was so hard for him to get up in the morning. One of the founders of ISI, Bud Fembrook, then got a call from a technology company, TRW, which had just signed a contract to set up a computer system at the huge Bonneville Power Station in southern Washington state. TRW desperately needed programmers familiar with the particular software the power station used. In these early days of the computer revolution, programmers with that kind of specialized experience were hard to find. But Pembroke knew exactly whom to call, those high school kids from Lakeside who had been running up thousands of hours of computer time on the ISI mainframe. Gate was now in his senior year, and somehow he managed to convince his teacher to let him the camp for Bonneville under the guise of the Independent Study Project. There, he spent the spring writing code, supervised by a man named John Newton, who Gates said taught him as much about programming as almost anyone he'd ever met. Those 5 years, from 8th grade through the end of high school, were Bill Gates' Hamburg, and by any measure, he was presented with an even more extraordinary series of opportunity than Bill Joy. Opportunity number one was the Gates got sent to Lakeside. How many high schools in the world had access to time-sharing terminal in 1968? Opportunity number two was that the mother of Lakeside had enough money to pay for the school's computer fees. Number three was that when that money ran out, one of the parents happened to work at C Cubed, which happened to need someone to check its code on the weekends, and which also happened not to care if weekends turned into weeknights. Number four was the Gates just happened to find out about ISI, and ISI just happened to need someone to work on its payroll software. Number five was that Gates happened to live within walking distance of the University of Washington. Number 6 was that the university happened to have free computer time between 3 and 6 in the morning. Number 7 was the TRW happened to call Bird Pembroke. Number 8 was that the best programmers Pembroke knew for the particular problem happened to be two high school kids. And number 9 was that the Lakeside was willing to let those kids spend their spring term miles away riding code. And what did virtually all of these opportunities have in common? They gave Bill Gates extra time to practice. By the time Gates dropped out of Harvard after his sophomore year to try his hand on his own software company, he'd been programming practically non-stop for 7 consecutive years. He was way past 10,000 hours. How many teenagers in the world had the kind of experience Gates had? If there were 50 in the world, I'd be stunned, he said. There was C cubed and the payroll stuff we did. Then TRW, all those things came together. I had a better exposure to software development at a young age than I think anyone did in that period of time, and all because of the incredibly lucky series of events.